For now, let us relish within the Lotus.
Season 2, Episode 8, Gimme Dat Blood.
That I wouldn't do to drink your blood.
Gimme that blood, gimme that blood.
That I wouldn't do to drink your blood.
Gimme that blood, gimme that blood.
That I wouldn't do to drink.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 8 of the Juggalo Rewind podcast, where we deep dive track by track into all your favorite Juggalo albums of the past, the present.
Not the present.
Yeah, no, definitely not the present. We don't do anything in the
We
present.
don't have a cutoff. We don't have the rules are fast and loose, as they say, but...
With what's a classic,
Yeah.
or what we...
I guess, yeah, we never went into that part, but for now, these are older classics.
They are. My name is Peter. That's
Hi.
Chris. Oh, hi there. How are you doing today,
Oh, I'm
Christopher?
good.
That's
Sip
good.
of the blood.
That's not a sip of the blood.
We'll get to it.
We'll have to get that drop. Anyways, we're here, like we said, going over Juggalo tracks, track by track, deep diving, so you don't have to. So you can go on Spotify and listen to the gold version and wonder, where's the Mars version?
It is available on YouTube if you don't own it.
I do listen to it on YouTube. It's in my history, so when I need to do some research,
Right.
I grab
Compare
it
'em.
quickly.
I still have my CD player. If people have been listening through, I've had a CD player I picked up for this season. I have yet to plug it in to listen to the actual album straight through. Because you listen on YouTube, you get the ads halfway through.
Oh, I haven't noticed that.
Well, there's like the quality sounded good, but it's like one continuous playlist or whatever. But yeah, if you try to listen to a few in a row, it'll pop in an ad all of a sudden out the blue.
Well, I only listen to one track at a time, numerous times, because I'm studying vigorously for the Juggalos.
I'm going to save my full re-listen in the dark with the headphones for the recap, I think. So we've gotten this far. Now I'm just going to do a track by track, and when we get to the season finale, see if any spooky things poke me in the eye while I listen.
I found a good spot in my house that can be dark.
For the
For the
seance?
seance, so
Your house is already spooky.
it is. Oh, shit, you're
I have
right.
to sit in the car, right? Because you have to be the only one in the house. So I'll sit in the car with like an earpiece listening along, like we're like in the FBI. Like we're wiretapping casino. The guy's yelling about all the people.
I mean, I was just thinking we don't have to like do it at the same time. We can just like record our own.
I ain't doing one.
Why are you so scared? Why'd you give me that look?
You think
I
I'm
ain't
crazy?
I ain't doing that. Well, I guess I'm the only one that cares about everybody. Anyway.
In case you get taken into the ether world, someone else has to carry on the podcast.
That's true.
I'll recruit Boy Kelly or
I was about to say,
Young Hoot Jacob.
who's your next choice?
We'll have to do Bang Pow Boom next for Jacob because that's when he came in.
You'll have to get the homie Jiggles back here.
That's true. He's a good, but we don't have someone to rein us in, as you heard last week.
Oh my god.
The two of us can't be trusted alone.
I don't know what CD you would talk about without the occult and
That's true.
randomness.
We'll do Mars just in general. Mars's life before he became a Christian.
You'll do the ministry CD. Anyways, before we get too sidetracked, like we said we weren't going to, as you know, we are the Juggalo Rewind. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all at Juggalo RWD. RWD stands for Rewind.
Yeah.
Easy for me to say. I like to remind people that that's what that is. You can listen to us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Podbean. We had a new follower on Podbean.
Oh, that's nice.
So maybe the Jiggle Man gave them the heads up that that's the best way to listen to it. All your social medias, all your podcasting listens, just type us in and you'll find us. You can also find us on YouTube. I don't know if I said that.
Nope. It's just listening though. There's a graphic, stagnant graphic. We haven't gotten fancy enough to make a little video to accompany it. But if some people just listen on YouTube, so if that's where you listen,
Yeah.
Go there, subscribe, leave comments. I don't care what they are. Just leave comments.
Yeah, we like your nonsense no matter what you do. Speaking of nonsense, we have email, juggalorwd@gmail.com. We also have a hotline,
That's right.
810-666-1570. Leave us your stories about your seance, your, stories about your dog snoring while you're doing podcasting. Anything that you have. If you want to give your votes for MVP of Lotus, just anything that you want to send our way, either give us a good laugh or we'll use on the last episode.
Yeah, we
of the
didn't
season.
mention that, I don't think, recently. It'll be wrap-up material, so if you leave a voicemail, it will be used at some point. Just, I think we were saving those.
Yeah, if you email us or drop us a voicemail, we always look at them and try to incorporate if you give us a little bit of news. But otherwise, if they're funny, we'll just drop them at the end of the season. 'Cause
Yes.
mid-season probably doesn't work.
We're trying to tell a story here. A story narrated by Mr. Joseph Bruce.
By Joseph the Bruce. Also,
Not Robert the Bruce.
we also have our website, juggalorewind.com, where you can find, you can listen there, you can find little write-ups or links to our Spotify's, all that stuff.
We'll spruce it up eventually.
We try. It's better than I expected, so it's good to go.
We have some merch ideas, because what would be the Juggalo world without merch? But we haven't got to it yet. We're going to get there.
Yeah, we need more.
You got to spread the word for us.
Yes.
Rate, review, share with your friends, share with your family. Juggalos, non-juggalos. Wayne County Life fans, hello. If you're still listening,
They're,
a season and a half later.
they're not still listening. They just listened once and they're done. Friends of Boy Kelly or of Jiggles that have stuck around. Do we have any other cleanup? I mean, last week was... speaking of cleanup and from last week, driving up to the studio today, I don't know if you noticed, is the light out in your street?
It goes on and off. It's spooky.
I literally couldn't find the
It gets
house.
dark as hell when it's off.
And then, my interior lights in the car weren't on.
Oh, really?
So I'm I opened the door to, grab my book bag, and I'm like, what? It's pitch black.
I
out
bet
here.
there was a sea of ravens overhead. You couldn't even see because it's so dark. I guess you would have heard them maybe. But
Not if they're all intertwined and being quiet and stealthy.
yeah, that street light will go out for a week, and I keep meaning to call, and then by the time I remember to call, it's back on.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
It's very weird.
Blackest magic. And,
I'll lie and say it started happening the second we recorded this season.
probably did.
It's been going on for a little longer.
Okay. I don't have any cleanup. I'm just ready to rock and roll if you are.
Let's go. Give me that blood.
One thing we should mention maybe before we get too deep, if you are listening to this as we drop them, we're only about a week away from Astronomicon, right? So, pretty close.
That's scary to think.
I know, it's right around the corner. So, Astronomicon 5?
Yeah.
It's over in Livonia, Michigan. Twisted puts on their, comic book convention. Pop culture convention.
Yeah, horror, wrestling, everything that basically this studio, as we call it, looks like.
Yeah.
Everything that's down here is what happens there.
Everything that's spilled out of Chris's brain has
They have all
shown
my
up
favorites.
there.
It's perfect.
This year, who is there? I don't even want to go down the list because I will miss someone. But wrestling, you have Kevin Nash, Godfather, Danhausen,
Six Pac.
Rick and Scott Steiner.
Oh, welcome to the doghouse.
And then horror movie
A lot
stars.
of Halloween folks from the franchise. I'm excited
from
about.
78, as they call it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sneak away from the booth and check out the 78 panel.
Danielle Harris, Bill Moseley,
Yes,
bunch of other
Nick Castle,
people.
the OG, Michael Myers.
So if you're in the area, that's always a fun time. And if you're not here this time, there's always a next time.
And we'll be there. We'll be mixing it up. We have some things in store. We haven't fully planned out yet, but
Yeah, I think we can. Well,
yeah, I guess it's official that we will be hosting a few events.
yes. So as in years past, we host the trivia contests, which will be this year wrestling,
Pop culture, Astronomicon guest themed.
and then what's the other one?
And then Juggalo.
Oh yeah, Juggalo with Big Blaze. You did
Yes,
home.
and Blaze has been lights out. If you have been there and haven't checked it out, he has been a lights out host. We usually try to tee him up to sing a song or something. He picks up perfectly, so he's been
Yeah.
fantastic.
Even
as
if
host.
you don't want to do the trivia, just watching and hearing the stories and trying
Yeah,
to interact.
he's been
is
great.
Good. So yeah, if you're in the area, check that out. Then yeah, that's coming up real soon. That's all I had. I just wanted to jump in on that because it's right around the corner.
I'm excited.
And we should have mentioned that we don't have a Juggalo Rewind table, but we will be at the 20
Yes.
by 20 apparel table. So come find us there. Buy wrestling t-shirts, paraphernalia.
It hasn't been announced anywhere, but here, breaking news. Kevin Nash exclusive
Ooh.
20 by 20 t-shirt. Limited edition for the weekend. Maybe a few others afterwards, we'll see. But there will be a limited edition Kevin Nash shirt. So if you're a wrestling fan, check that out. And then if you're not a wrestling fan, if you're just here for the Juggalo nonsense, we'll have some stickers and pins, other nonsense. Come talk to us. Come tell us about your seance experiences, all that fun stuff.
Maybe we should have a seance in the hotel.
Oh, man.
We should invite everyone back to your house.
Yeah, that's not happening. The studio, as we call it, is very close to Old Burton Manor, but there'll be no after parties held in the basement.
Just you and Lloyd over there.
I'm sure young boy Jacob, who runs the table, he'll be
Runs the table.
helps at the table.
He's our social media expert.
Yeah, he'll probably be back with me, and we'll probably watch a Coliseum or something in the basement. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we'll be at what's it called? Electric Lettuce cutting a rug.
Yeah, you're going to go to that?
I hope so.
Which night is that? Night 2?
2. And they also have, I seen they have a movie with Twisted afterwards.
Yeah.
Like 2 a.m. I'm like,
That's kind of sweet. Like,
it's sweet, but it's weird because it's not a hotel. Like, it's just a venue. So the fact that venue's open
that
late is kind of wild. Unless they just have their own staff and the place is cool with them.
doing it. Yeah, I'm surprised it took that long to do like a movie night after hours. Like,
I think they did one of them. I feel like I remember.
You're thinking of Al Azul at the drive-in.
No, there was something at the hotel, like a movie or like a hangout, like late at night.
You're talking about the game night?
No, I swear they did a movie at least one of the times. I remember the one year I was sick as hell and like went to bed super early, and then we woke up and you were talking about the '80s party and like how sweet it was. I don't think you went, but like you were up earlier and heard about it.
Got the CD or whatever, yeah. And there's always cool stuff happening at night. I mean, so it's just maybe they're just participating in it. You know, they've had like the after parties and the what do you call it? The pop-up shop in the middle of the night. So yeah, it's a fun time. If you're ever thinking about coming, I would go.
Oh yeah.
And if that's not your bag, then go to the Dream Gathering or go to Camp Zool or go to whatever you want to go to. It's
at least Camp Zool's in the summer now. You're actually camping and not freezing your dick off.
I meant to ask about that, but that's another story for another day. We'll talk about Camp Zool later.
I want to go.
We may be at Camp Zool too. You never know. You ready?
Let's get it going.
Jump in. Now, I obviously forget what we do.
Which is first?
We got an argument last time, so if you want to do your thing, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I might as well. Before I finish off, I already opened it over here.
Oh, what a cheat. What a going against the gimmick.
Someone was stuck in a White Castle drive-thru, and I was a little thirsty over here. But as you know, it's the Booski of the Week time.
Give me beer.
I'm done. I ain't got no beer, man.
I'm on a brewski, huh? And a booski. Toss me beer. Yeah.
Dog, we ain't got no fucking beer for it, Joe.
What? So? This is yeah, do my cold one.
Yo, alright, man. We ain't got no fucking beer for it, Joe. Stop it. Jesus.
When did it turn into that? Why couldn't it just be, oh, we have a pairing? No, just
every time I listen back and you put that drop in, I fucking die at the throw me a booski. Anyways, folks, if you checked out social media Tuesday, you seen this one's a freaky old cover. We got a little vampire man with a little pilgrim hat on, and he's tapping a tree, looking kind of like a penis or a
what?
I don't know. Anyways, he's tapping a maple tree. This is McKellar Brewing in San Diego. I've never heard of this place, but I seen this can, seen this guy. I'm guessing this is like Mars, because he's a vampire setting churches on fire and drinking maple syrup out of a tree. And this is...
Where is it from?
San Diego, California.
They are famous for their maple syrup?
No, I don't believe so.
I'm just checking. I'm sorry.
I don't think they're famous for beer either. Like I don't associate that as a beer place. Sorry if anyone's from San Diego and you have some great breweries. I mean, this beer is good. I'm breaking spoiler here early, but this is called...
Spoiler alert, Chris is Hammered.
This is called Tree Blood. Imperial Stout brew with maple and coffee. It is it's a potent boy, though. It's 11.7, and this one is pretty old. It says born on 1/20/21, so it's aged. It's a little more potent. And on the bottom of the can, if you find one of these, pick it up, and it says motor oil. So you pour this boy, it is thick, and it is black as night. Black as the blood, as they say. So
who says that? I've never heard that.
it's dark before it hits the air, and then the air turns it red, right? Isn't that how it goes?
Never heard that.
Crack it open. Pour it. Gloop, 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 gloop.
Insert drop here.
And take a sip of the blood and enjoy Gimme That Blood.
We didn't mention what song we're talking about, so that's good that you brought it up now.
I think I said it 6 times randomly.
Give me that blood.
Give me that blood. Boom, boom, boom. Wing.
Gimme that blood. Don't think it's give me that blood.
Well, it's technically untitled. This one was not on the sampler, right? And it was not a single, so we are speculating it's called Gimme That Blood.
You know what you should do? This is funny. Side note. I was looking at setlist.fm.
Yeah.
I go there a lot for, just checking what happened in past concerts or upcoming. There's very few Lotus on there. Like, they're all there, but no set list. You should go through and just put untitled for like 12 for every single one.
Everyone but Black Magic and the
untitled, Juggalo family, untitled.
Yeah.
It's not a bad gimmick.
It's a good gimmick.
All right, we're going to get on that, no problem. I'm surprised, even with so many that are on YouTube, I'm like, the second gathering is on YouTube, right? The whole concert. Why hasn't anyone taken that and put the set list on?
Off of it?
Yeah.
We keep saying we're going to pull it and post it. We just haven't sat down and done it.
Yeah, that's what got me like thinking about it, but then I'm like...
The few times I've started watching that 01 gathering, and the footage is god-awful, but it's just cool, and the audio's... It's bad, but it's bearable once you get into it, but usually I'm watching it late at night, and I'm like... A handful of songs in, I'm like, I gotta go to bed, but...
Yeah. I fall asleep quickly and easily, so I can't just be watching Dark Lotus in the middle of the night. Ooh.
Spooky.
Anyways, as we said, we were talking about the 8th track on Tales from the Lotus Pod. Gimme Untitled / Gimme That Blood. Producer on this track, first time in the line.
Welcome to the party.
Mr. Fritz. What did you find out about Fritzky?
Yes, Fritz the Cat, as he's called, is Fritz von Koski. That's a very fun name. He's the main producer through Twisted. Thinking at this point...
Is he the new guy in Gunther's stable?
Yes, his name is very Gunther on SmackDown-like. So I'm trying to think where
that beer smells. I just stepped away for 2 seconds. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to walk away and come back again. But, it's got a very distinct odor.
It's the maple syrup, man. Swirl it around like the wine. Look at that. Nice bubbles in that thing.
Yeah, that's... I don't want to take your... Oh! Oh, my God.
That's a potent stout, boy.
I don't think I told you. A couple weeks ago when we were looking, me and my wife were at the store looking for Boostki of the Weeks. And there was so many, funny ones. And I'm like, we got in the car and I'm like, what if I start drinking?
Just because you want to buy the weird beers?
And she's like, well, you got to start with, a certain one. You can't just jump into, because the one I was looking at, she's like, yeah, that's, thicker than Guinness. So, you don't want to just start there. Yeah, then you'll never have one ever again.
This one here makes Guinness like a light beer.
She's like, you probably got to start with, a Natty Light or something. And I'm like, I might start drinking.
I'd say start with a Coors Light. That's an easy one.
Smelling that, I'm done.
It tastes good.
I'd rather not. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your talk about Fritz the Cat, but...
Fritz here, I'm trying to figure out...
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting. Do you only take sips because you can't, take more than...
Oh, yeah, you gotta sip. This is a sipper, boy. It's like a whiskey almost, you don't just pound it.
I didn't know if you were doing that for, style or to save it, or if that's really how you have to drink it, because it's
the stouts, I take small sips in general. I'm not a chugger. I got a small mouth.
Not like me and your cousin Aaron that just guzzle no matter what we're drinking.
Cousin Aaron, when he drinks beers, we'll be up north or something, and we'll pop one open early, and he's like noon, 1, having a beer, and he's like, I don't know how you do it. He's like, I can't sip them. He's like, I take guzzle them. He's like, when I buy a Coke, I take it and I go. I make sure I force myself to take the tiniest sips. He's like, I can drink like 6 Cokes in one sitting. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm just like him. We need to talk about that.
I had a pizza earlier, and I always have I like having a Coke with pizza, and I couldn't even finish. I'm like, I gotta get those tiny cans, like, because I can't drink a whole Coke. I dumped half of it out. I drink because I'm thirsty. So like, Yeah.
you got a pop.
Water I'll chug, but everything else, no, I can't.
I get a pop, and it's just like gut, and I'm like,
I
I'm
can't.
like, I know.
I get the hiccups.
It's not good.
Burping. Anyways, back to Fritz, the cat Vonkowski.
Back to it and insinuate that we actually started.
So he's Twisted's go-to guy in this area, and he's still in the crew. He's still making beats for them.
Yeah, for sure.
His discography, they list like Most Tasteless, which as we just did, he was nowhere on there unless he produced some of them tracks and brought them to Scott Sumner, and Sumner mastered them.
Are we talking the difference between like engineering and recording? And
like if he made those beats, this is something we need to get to the bottom of. As what would we call that? A refresher on season 1. If you ever get to the bottom of that,
I've thought about that. I'm sure. So I was gonna ask some of our loyal fans, like, what would they think if we did this or that or whatever. I don't think anyone would mind if like something came up and we're like, you know what, after this we're gonna do like another season 1, like Most Tasteless.
Even just an episode of like flashback to like update stuff we've learned.
Yeah,
because I still speculate Sumner, as he told someone we know, he really just recorded this. He was just in the studio recording, so I don't know how much of those beats he even made that he's credited to. It could have been Fritz was hanging out with them then and making those, and he just mastered them. Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, we may always go backwards. We're not just going to be like, well, that's a whole other story. But we're not just going to like do an episode on, let's talk about, fucking the calm.
Right.
Or whatever. Like, it's going to be relevant to what we've done in the past. So
we're kind of all over the place, but we're trying to get like a definitive history. I don't know where it'll be stored, but that's what we're trying to get to.
Stored on my external right now.
But Fritz, he's been part of the crew, been producing for Twisted. So as we're saying, the story went, Mikey Clark was originally recording these tracks, falling out. Mike P came in, set up the studio. He started recording, and then Fritz and Twisted start putting.
I think Fritz is in the middle, right?
Yeah,
like the Band-Aid, or at least
I kind of put it like once the Mike Clark shit split, maybe Fritz was recording with Twisted, even at the time when Clark was there, and just like, hey, these are the track ideas we had, and pitched to him. Like I think they're probably already, even when Mike Clark's there, because he's already around.
I mean, we can talk about it in a little bit, but I mean, this probably isn't a terrible place to do this. I feel like, well, I'll wait. Never mind. Go ahead.
But anyways, just a little more background on Fritz. He is a producer for Psychopathic Records in that era, which he's credited for some of our low-key favorites from the early 2000s. Jumpsteady's Chaos Theory, Esham Repentance. He's on Cold and Grundy, Black Rain. But he is also a member of we were trying to figure this out, the Cysterosis Sound Squad. I feel like they've mentioned it back in the day, and I can't remember what they actually said.
Yeah.
Cirrhosis Sound Squad is what he was.
Don't stare at me when you don't know how to say something.
He plays all the instruments, just kind of like Mike Clark, right? Mike Clark would do it. Mike P would do that as well.
Yeah.
Play guitar, drums, all that stuff. And he has a website. You can contact him for work when we click on it. There's a little About Us page. Nice little handsome shot of him.
Let me walk over to the other side of the studio.
Spectacles on, little earring, little nice smirk.
He looks like Dr. Drew.
He does. And his little bio, this is straight from the man himself. He's a musician for 30 plus years, multi-instrumentalist.
What?
Multi-instrumentalist, and a 1991 graduate of the Recording Institute of Detroit.
Oh, nice.
Fritz the Cat Vonkowski has been professionally recording engineer and producer for 30 years and has recorded numerous artists, including Eminem, The Contours, Anita Baker, George Clinton. Everyone in this crew has been fucking with George Clinton, Twisted ICP, and many, many more.
What did it... Now we're going off on the rails. I let me go through the rest of what we have to do, but I want to know what Eminem tracks he did.
I'll try to look for while you do that.
All right. So as we said, that is Fritz, and he is the producer on this track, we speculate that once the Mike Clark split happened, they just kind of were band-aiding things together, or maybe he was just kind of helping out in the background to move things along. Time on this track, 3 minutes and 39 seconds, which in reality seems long, but for the past 2 seasons, for this,
for Juggalos,
this is like the
2000.
fucking quickest song that I think we've done since intro.
It might as well be a skit.
Might as well be Smoke Break. As we said, this is the 8th track on this CD, album, as we like to call them. Other than that, it's a pretty quick one. We don't have any, this hasn't been found in any other albums that I can think of. There's no notes, there's no samples. The only note that we have is that this is one of those tracks that has Mars on the original, and then we have ABK on the follow-up.
It's been a while since we had one of these.
Yeah, it's always fun to try to go back and forth with that. So, pretty easy one for notes. But did you find anything over there in your research?
So, if this is the only thing he recorded, he's kind of stretching a bit here, but I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt. This is still sweet.
Oh, no. I may have looked into this already, so go ahead.
He produced the Ruckus single, We Shine, featuring Eminem, 1999 single.
That sounds kind of sweet, isn't it?
It is.
Got your family looking for your ass on Sally Jesse. We squash beef in the mold when you ain't breathing no more. Leaving your skull split like Steven Seagal. Let the cat out, flat out. Detroit's a madhouse, so I don't get it.
Did you see DeRuckus has a new song?
Yeah.
They have a new song?
I haven't listened to it yet. I haven't listened to the Paradigm one either.
Oh, fuck. The Paradigm and Hush song is actually really sweet.
Yeah, I meant to listen. Actually, I meant to share it through the podcast stuff because we talk about Paradigm so much.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, I'm like, DeRuckus, my God. Like, there's no way. And then, yeah, a week later, it's like Paradigm and Hush have a new
He's
song?
on a lot of DeRuckus, actually. Episode 1 by them, We Came Here to Party. Poetic Menace. But yeah, the DeRuckus featuring Eminem, We Shine. That's accredited to Fritz. Also, as I'm going through his discogs, he did some work on Shaggy's Fuck the Fuck Off, The Tempest. The Wraith Remix album. I haven't found George Clinton's thing yet, but...
Well...
But this is all just based off of what he's credited to on Discogs, so that's not the full story. So he could have done more Eminem elsewhere.
I was looking up someone recently. Maybe it was... Fuck, who could it have been? Would it have been Sumner? I don't know. Looking up someone, and they were credited to Eminem, and it was literally like one of the Paul skits.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, oh, that's literally like the worst, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still cool that you did it, but it's not like, you know, not like you did all summer long.
Right.
Fucking do the fucking Paul interlude. Like, that ain't shit.
I mean, if I got some Eminem work, I would credit myself too. That's
if I was
top of the resume.
If I created a shirt for Danny Brown, I'd put myself at the end of the DVD.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm a little credit ski. I'll give myself an old Barry Horowitz for that one.
I mean, it's no behind the paint, but it's, you know, it's something.
I don't know. We'll put them up against each other. That's a poll. What's more
recognizable in the world? What's got the bigger clout?
Yeah, whose extra credit's worth more, the Danny Brown documentary or the Behind the Paint book?
Yeah.
We'll do an in-store and sign both for you guys.
Anyways, you got anything else before we start digging in?
No, let's roll.
All right, Gimme That Blood. Diving into the lyrics. So I have a couple notes here before we even get started. This is a track that they do live or have done, will do.
It's a staple, I would say.
It is, and it is fucking good.
Yeah.
It is a good live track.
The lights kick out, like, bounce on, they all jump up and down. Give me that blood, give me that blood. I'm pretending I'm there, putting my hand up and down.
The beat is cool. Just listening to it, you can tell it's a good live track. And they definitely do, during the hook, because it's fucking, there's a lot of hook in the song.
Yeah.
They change it up a little bit where they go, now freeze, when the beat kind of drops.
Right.
And then and then it's just like there's lights off.
Yeah,
and
the
then
beat is that great build-up. when he frees and then it kicks in. Yeah,
So
that's like a
always
staple of a good Juggalo song.
very cool. So very good live track. It's probably a good live track because there's no J opening. Look at that.
I wanted to call you out. So who's narrating the beginning of this?
Well, it's just a party. They've walked into the next room in the temple, and there's just
Well, yeah, they have the black magic curse on them from last episode.
Yes.
Last chapter. And the next chapter in the book of the Tales from the Lotus, they've been, they've turned into vampires, and now they're just thirsty. Quench their thirst for that blood, and they need it.
done. Have we? Or I don't have the speculation of this, but who does the intro? Is it like a sample of something?
That feels like a sample, but I have not done the work to look for it. Let me try right now.
It's not. It's definitely not on Genius. I don't think. But
No, that feels like a sample from a movie.
but it's pretty long and fits. So I
Right.
don't know if it's a reference or whatever. But yeah.
If you know, let us know. We'll update it. But yeah, I don't know if it's someone doing it. It could be someone doing it, but it sounds super cool.
And I mean, there's so many goddamn old vampire movies. It could be from any of them. So
That's real sidetrack here.
that's what we do.
I posted this on the Instagram New Year's Day because if you watch the Twilight Zone marathon,
Which I do every year.
I got a T-shirt for that. Did you ever see my T-shirt?
I don't think so.
It's like a baseball tee, and it says the 1979 Twilight Zone New Year's Day marathon, and it has like the door and all that shit.
That's
on it.
fine.
Yeah, but if you watch that,
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was watching it, in the background. I didn't really pay attention, and all of a sudden I hear the Beelzebub, otherwise known as the Dark Lord Satan. I'm like, what? I know what that is. And I rewound it and I recorded it. I'm like, post. I'm like, who remembers this? It was a fucking drop from Mr. Bones. I'm like, I always would hear that. I'm like,
That's
man,
funny.
that sounds cool. And I did not know it was from a Twilight Zone episode.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Seems like he'd be a Twilight Zone freak.
Right. Yeah. I was super pumped to find that one.
I forgot to mention that I brought something for Booski of the Week.
Oh, did you?
I have a red Gatorade Zero fruit punch,
Blood-like.
which I'm not a fan of, but because it's the red for the blood.
You made the sacrifice.
I
Yeah, I'm
did.
not a fruit punch guy at all.
No, it's not good.
No.
It's too might as well be fucking high C.
Yeah,
or
any
the
of those,
fucking
it's like a
Hawaiian.
hodgepodge. Unless it's like strictly berries. But when it's a hodgepodge of fruits, I'm not a fan.
It's a little too sweet.
Just berries, though, I'm down with.
So sorry to interrupt that, but I'm sitting here staring at it. I'm like, oh, I brought that along for the ride. So
We went on a couple tangents. Often trying to decide if someone's singing this or not. I don't know. Yeah, maybe someone's singing and they just, like you said, altered the voice.
highly possible. Guess we'll never know.
Your blood.
But it definitely sets the tone for wanting that blood,
A little thirsty.
which everyone talks about here. So, first verse. We're getting right into the fun of it. We have the split Mars and ABK versions. So let's just jump in. It starts. I don't know where my pencil is. Here it is.
You gotta go with Mars first, right?
Yeah, going with Mars first because he was on the original. I was about to say most tasteless. He was on the original Tales from the Lotus Pod. I mean, he comes like we say in every episode, right? Like, does he have the flow that we're used to, or the stereotypical whatever? No, but it's different. You know,
Yeah,
and
again,
it's-
it grabs me. His flow stands out. Him and Madrox have the coolest flows on this album so far. Like both of the way they hit each word grabs me.
Straight for the jugular, raw dog succular. Why I have an arrow to that in my notes, I don't know.
My guess is he wanted to try to tie into the Juggalo community and said, you got all the Juggalos. In that era, we'd always put a low on the end of everything. So he's like, I'm going to call it a suckalo. But it's succula.
That's a stretch.
I don't know. I guess he's just trying to rhyme jugula with sucking blood.
Yeah, he's like, this rap shit is
He's like,
in there.
in a few lines here, Shaggy doesn't even rhyme words, so I'm just going to change this word up.
Yeah, he doesn't really rhyme much for himself either. Is it interesting that he says he drops the psychopathic in there? Like,
Yeah.
does he even know that that's the name of the fucking label? Or is he just
Right.
using that word?
I mean, he has a few things, like, for whatever reason, I feel like Jugula, like, I feel like there's a lot of songs, like, hitting you in the jugular, or, like, the juggler, I don't know, like, whatever that word get you psychopathic, catch you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose or if he was like, I'm a psychopathic, and they're like, oh, good, that fits.
Yeah. Hey, good job. You paid attention to what we were doing.
I don't know, because this is another thing I've been digging. So he was on tour with them. They post that he's in the studio with them in April 2001. That's a handful of months before this drops.
I was going to say, that doesn't mean that like is when he started. I think
so.
He could have been in the studio for like months, and they're just like, hey, guess who's in the studio
So
with us?
the Bizarre tour, he's on the second leg. That's what, late 2000?
I thought it was early 2001, but I really...
That's right. I seen it in the winter, so it was like December, January, February. So
did we ever talk about that? Were we at the same show in Royal Oak? What leg was that? Have I ever told that story?
I didn't go
here?
to the Bizarre at Royal Oak. I'd have to go through my spreadsheet. But I remember going to the one in the freezing like snow in Grand Rapids.
That's not the one where you were in the outside.
Yeah.
I thought that was Hatchet Rising.
Oh yeah, no, that was Hatchet Rising. No, so this was this Toledo? It was somewhere, not locally. We stayed at a hotel. It was snowing, but the point of the story is it was snowing. So he was on tour with them in the winter of 2000, December 2000, early 2001. So they either were recording on the bus or at stops, or like they recorded when it ended, which would have been April.
Yeah.
So I think they had a big chunk of this done, and the Mike Clark ones they couldn't put him. They sandwiched him in on one, right? There was one where like he was definitely like wedged in. We were like, yeah. So yeah, I think they definitely recorded with him in April, May, and dropped this album in July, and then the beginning of July. Right. And then I found the post that was like July 20-something. They're like, Mars is not on the label anymore. So he's literally there for not even a half a year.
Yeah, one and done. We should go back a little bit here. So this is a Fritz track with Mars. Mm-hmm. So how does that work? That now we're saying that Mars was there after Mike Clark left?
So even if they recorded this when Mike Clark was there, like because Fritz has been around the whole time, Fritz is still in the crew, so they could have been like, hey, we have this song done, but this is the producer. He could clean it up to add you, and it's a lot smoother than the Mike Clark one where he's sandwiched in. So I think in my mind this song was already done, because like as we go through it, they're talking about being like vampires sucking blood. Like it doesn't play with the Mike P ones that are like ancient culture and religious stuff. Where I think those are the ones that Mars influenced. I think this is one where they had done, and once they signed or brought Mars in, they like, hey, this is a song we have done. It's about vampires. Like
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I think I threw off the whole thing there. Yeah, I was thinking.
Well, we always talk about, like you said, it's Mike Clark, Fritz, and then Mike P. But in my mind, Fritz and Mike Clark were probably happening at the same time.
Possible.
If not, somewhat overlapped. This was already done. The Mike P. ones were done with Mars. I think that's the April session, we'll say, is the Mike P. tracks.
I'd have to lay them all out. Maybe we'll do that for the last
timeline.
In sequence, because in my head, now that I say that, does Mike Clark have two eras? Does he have there's only four of you, it's Echo Side, it's Black Magic era, and then fucking 2 years later, it's doing what our new gimmick is. You know what I mean? Because he spanned that.
Yeah, because he was there at the very 99 era, and then he was there at the beginning of this album.
So there could be two Mike Clark columns.
Because we said a lot of this stuff is from Freak Show Bizarre sessions, and they're like, oh no, those fit for this or that.
Mm-hmm. Freak Show Bizarre, or fucking Jekyll Brothers.
Yeah.
Literally
it all blends in
1998, 1999. So yeah, I think that's where I was going with that. But yeah, Mike Clark's span is kind of...
But in my mind, this song was done and Mars was added. The songs with Mike P. is the ones
I understand.
I think Mars influenced.
Where are the ones where Vampiro was on it?
Or as we dug up back in 99, they said Godsmack was in the studio with him recording for this album.
We're dying.
We'll save all that stuff for the wrap-up when it get more convoluted.
Fucking Godsmack and Crazy Bone. Recorded songs for Dark Lotus. So yeah, that's Mars. We didn't really talk much about it.
I like I'm a Been a hearse with a thirst for the worst.
Yeah, like his flow, like we said, is interesting. Cut a throat to the bone to the beat of my own. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool how he does. Cut a throat to the bone. How do you cut your throat to the bone? Your spine?
What's this? There's a bone right here.
Asshole. It's not a bone. That's your fucking Adam's apple.
That's very hard. There's no bones in the throat.
I don't think so. That's like, no.
There's got to be something there. If you're an anatomy teacher,
Yes.
call us. Let us know.
Dr. Brad, if you're listening and you want to talk to us about anatomy, let us know.
I just today read Inside Your Outside Body by Dr. Seuss to my son who's went to bed, and there's a part about the skeleton. Every time it's there, and I don't pay attention. Maybe I said it's just the spine back there.
Throat bone.
Cut yours. Let's see. See if you find a bone.
What a weirdo.
Before we move on from Mars, I enjoy. We were talking about the little like added killer. Yep, all that. I love when he goes psychopathic, anarchist, and they're like, what? And then he's like masochist, fuck religion. Whoa, what? Yeah. they both get a what, but one's like what, and one's like whoa, what?
Yeah, why? Like, overall, we're saying that the song is about, for lack of a better word, being a vampire.
Yeah.
And that's where he's going with this. But yeah, why is he going into the... Is he trying to insinuate that a vampire setting churches on fire, that like vampires are naturally unreligious and he's playing the part of a vampire? Like that's his character, quote unquote?
I'm not deep into the vampire lore at all to know if... But they're the undead, so they don't have an afterlife. They're stuck here forever.
And they don't like crosses.
Yeah.
It's not just like the shape of it. I mean, it's
holy water burns them. Yeah, they're just unholy
deities.
But he finds the church is evil because he's gonna burn down the evil motherfucking empire.
It's true.
It's a strong verse. I dig it. It's a little scary.
Is it wicked?
This is the most wicked line so far. Maybe
we're bringing the listeners into our text messages all day about this fucking nonsense. We should just start posting our text messages. See what people think about the shit that we talk about all day. So anyways, that was on the original. Fast forward one calendar year, and ABK redoes the verse on the reissue. ABK being Anybody Killa. So, may I start with him?
Go.
I like his verse and the fact that like he sticks to the gimmick, right? Like he's literally talking about, and I think we'll get into this with other people, how he procures said blood. It's not just like, hey, I'm fucking, Nosferatu, I'm going to bite people. Like, he's talking about hanging around a hospital for blood. This is my only problem with this, right? So, Anybody Killa, your verse is kind of sweet here. Like, I'm not hating on it.
Yeah. It
fits well. As we say in almost every episode like this, like, he was put in a fucking worst position humanly possible, right? So, I'm going to try not to contradict myself here, so I'm sure you will call me out on it. ICP.
Right.
Their gimmick is goofy, but they lend themselves to some, like, darker shit.
Yeah.
Right?
They have a little horror sprinkled in.
Yeah. Twisted has a little more horror.
Yeah.
Like, not like the cartoony horror, but like the murder horror.
Yeah.
Blaze is fucking dead. So
at this point, Blaze is just like, yeah, he's
corpse.
half like NWA, half a zombie man.
That's funny you say that. I was gonna say he's like a gangster, but he can also get away with like
a little paranormal shit in there.
Yeah. ABK's gimmick doesn't fit Lotus. That is the fucking problem, and I will stand by that. And I can't say for sure because I haven't like listened in a really long time. He was on Black Rain. He wasn't on the third one, but then he like was sporadically on the fourth one.
It's hard to remember.
I think, give or take. I'm not saying I'm a fucking historian.
Wait, we are.
No, I'm sorry. And he probably does it better later on when it's more cohesive. Yeah. But fucking when I think Anybody Killa, I think him and Blaze and Drive-By.
Right.
Even for Hatchet Warrior, I'm thinking like gangster, for lack of a better word.
I mean, fucking Hollow Point.
Yeah.
When that dropped, I'm like, oh man, this is like straight up a Riders or Blaze track. Yeah.
For him to talk about like sucking your blood, that's I think that's where I lose it. And my boy Eric, who always texts me about this, about our podcast, and because he's a big Mars fan, and he's from Garden City, not Mars, but Eric. And every time we talk about this, like, he harps on the issue, and I'll wait till the end to, like, pull his actual text.
Yeah.
But it's like, the gimmick with Mars was, like, so one thing. It was so fucking heavy. It was like a Metallica album.
Yeah.
And then bringing, I don't mean that, like, just, for instance, like, it's that.
I mean, all of his lyrics are the most intense when it comes to, like, dark shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But then you bring in ABK and you turn the exact same album into, like, a fucking Teletubbies album. You know what I mean? Like,
they made it's Raining Diamond stuff, like happy. Yeah.
It's the exact same words. It's the same idea, but I don't know if it's just because of who he is and you know him from other stuff, but it's like, it just doesn't work in this song. Not in Drive-By, not in solo stuff, not in Black Rain, but, like, I just can't. It's hard to say I can't take him seriously because Blaze is a fucking dead body. And he's, like, our favorite of all time. But, like, it just doesn't fit the gimmick. And I think that's where it gets lost here. That's just me speaking. I don't want to speak for everyone, but...
So he was, like, in and out at this era, like
of psychopathic in general,
like early time, but, like, he had no albums. He had Native Funk shit up until this point.
His psychopathic stuff comes way later than I would think. I would have thought he was right in the mix. And
I just looked up. Hatchet Warrior was 03.
Fuck, that's crazy. Yeah. Because
so, like, you knew about him.
And Gang Related were on Hatchet History.
Yeah,
and that
so
came out
02?
in... Was that 01? Again, 01, 02 mixed together.
That was the 02 gathering.
It has to be because, if he came out in 03.
Yeah, because it had the updated version. Because I remember he played at the gathering, and I remember we were hardcore marking out for him, our little circle. And he did Hollow Point and Gang Related, and I was like, that's it. Like, this guy's gonna have the fucking album. He's like the man on the label. So, like, at this point...
He's the man on that label.
Oh, yeah, we're so into him. But, like, so at this point, like, we were discussing, Twisted's the more darker horror, ICP's the more... I think that they're like Killer Comes from Outer Space, like, goofy... carnival fun horror, and I think ABK, like, brought in, he signed the label, and I feel like Jay, because he's ICP, he's running things.
Jay, he's ICP.
But he's the mind behind it, he's the driving creative force, as you say.
Don't put that in my mouth.
I think when they brought ABK on to fill when he brought ABK on to fill in the roles, I think he kind of had an idea, because they all of his verses, like you said, they don't fit, but they feel like they fit early 2000 ICP, like the Diamond Rain, the happy, and if you're still doing all right, this is a goofy song, but you're not going to be like talking about burning churches and all this shit, like all this stuff here fills in.
It's just
like this right here is just he's playing a role like to a T, and it doesn't fit him, but it fits. I could see Jay or Shaggy singing his verses on these.
Yeah, this may be a little bit of a stretch, but then we don't want to talk about this forever. But I was just listening to a wrestling podcast, Greg Iron, Iron on Wrestling, and he was talking about how early on in his career, he made a switch between playing a wrestler and being a wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, and you can say that with anything, right? Like, I'm cosplaying as a local rapper until you actually, like, you find yourself.
We're cosplaying as podcasters.
Yes, and Juggalo historians. But here, again, he's been doing this for years at this point, but it's like he's cosplaying as ICP, what he thinks ICP lyrics should be, and not his gimmick.
He's a local dude who doesn't have... I mean,
I'm not saying
he dig on him, but he has
like
really no following at this point outside of the Juggalo world. So he gets signed to the label that's like the pinnacle of like his fans. So I would for sure.
I'm not
tailor myself
suggesting
to theirs.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been like, if Jay came to him and was like, "I need you on Lotus," he wouldn't have been like,
right.
Yeah, like, fuck.
That's a good rub when I first get on the label.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on it. He gave it his best. He did an awesome verse here. I'm not hating on that. I'm merely saying that he's playing a character that doesn't fit him. It's like, you're not going to fucking throw Taylor Swift in here talking about, like, Gimme That Blood, but, like, in her own gimmick, can she do different levels of, like...
Oh, she can do it all. She's the fucking queen. I love Taylor Swift.
But you know what I mean? Like, if she's just straight doing this, you're like... that's not what
Right.
I don't know.
And it, again, back to the very beginning, we discussed he still has the role of people listen to this for a full year. They're bumping these tracks, they're singing along, and now there's a whole new verse. So no matter what, even if he, like...
Killed it.
Yeah, it would still be impossible to, like... we had this discussion yesterday with other folks of... It's nostalgia, so you first heard it. It's going to be impossible to, like... Even though it's only 1 year difference, like, you listened to it so much back then that no matter what he brings, it's going to be hard for him to fit.
And the flip side, like we've talked about how the gold version is on streaming and the red version isn't. This is probably someone's go-to.
That's what I'd love to do is ask younger... If there's any younger listeners out there, I would love to know. Like, if you only know that version, does he stand out? Does it stick out? Does it feel awkward as it does to those who grew up on the... As we say, grew up... Mars, like we said, was there for literally 5 months. Like, it's crazy that how much of an impact that little gap had because this album is so
and if you're
monumental.
If you're that new of a fan, you may think that this is a guy that talks about fucking drinking blood.
Yeah.
Like, you may not... it's weird when he talks about being in a drive-by. Like, so maybe this is how you see ABK.
Right.
Maybe you don't even know who the fuck he is. Like, maybe you listen to Ouija Back and not ICP. Like, there's so many levels of...
subcultures inside the subculture.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a Zooligan and you're not listening to us.
That's highly possible. I don't know. We talked so much about his verse and didn't really talk about it. Are you ready to just move on?
Yeah, I mean, it's straightforward. There's nothing that jumps out. I think that was a good little...
sidebar.
Right.
I think I've wanted to throw that out there, but this is like a perfect example where the other verses he's had fit as best he can, but this one is just like so off the rails of like...
There's nothing ABK about it. It's just like you said, anyone could be rapping it.
There's a reason... Oh, fuck. How am I even going to say this? I have to prepare myself. I know everyone in the Juggalo community has a subgroup, right?
Yeah.
Drive-by is their gimmick. Mm-hmm. Triple Threat is a gimmick, although they all kind of...
ESN, another one.
And he's in that.
Yeah.
He's in Drive-by. He's not in Sam Hain Witch Killers.
Yeah. Yeah, he fits better with the more traditional rap stuff than like the spooky stuff.
For sure. Maybe I'm missing something. Is there something on his first, I'll say 2 CDs, because those were like, quote unquote, the Juggalo classics.
The ones that
like
we were like,
Hatchet Warrior and Gang. Is Gang related? Is that the name of the CD?
No.
Hatchet Warrior and Native. No.
I was thinking Mudface.
No, that's like his third or fourth. Yeah. What's the one with like the space background?
That's Hatchet Warrior.
What's his first one?
That's his first one. Dirty History is his second one.
There's a party at the liquor store.
Yeah, Native Funk. Rain from the Sun was 2000. Hatchet Warrior was 2003. Dirty History is 04. Mudface was 08.
Maybe it was Dirty History I was thinking of. So, like, yeah, those first two... Where was I going with that?
We were just saying his sound. His first two. Nothing about that comes across spooky.
Maybe there is, and I'm just not thinking of it.
I mean, I haven't revisited those straight through in forever.
I actually started to the other day. I got like on a weird kick of like...
I've been wanting to because of all of this stuff.
Yeah. Like, your Nedden's Haunted. Is that like
I forgot about that.
The spookiest one? But I don't know. I'm sure there's something, but yeah, he seems like he's in the East Side Ninjas / Riders / Drive-By. Like,
yeah, all of his stuff fits better there. That's the more memorable ABK.
Yeah, if they were like redoing SWK or fucking Venomous 5 or something that's like wicked,
right,
quote unquote, I don't think he fits.
No.
And that's not a knock. That's just... He just sees himself out the door. Like, hey, you guys, you do your cult shit. I'll be back.
You're a cult shit.
All right. I think that's all we can talk about him. We've spent...
It's a nice little buffer for ABK.
It is. We thought this episode was going to go real quick.
Of course, this was going to be the short one.
Yeah, no, this will be longer than the Jiggles episode. Second verse, Monoxide Child.
Cut yourself, let it bleed, pulsate. My heartbeat bumping like an 808. A shadow caster, phantasma. And I want to take a drink of your plasma.
You've referenced this all the time, don't you? The fucking heartbeat bumping like an 808.
Yeah, the first 2 lines I love. Cut yourself, let it beat pulsate. Heartbeat bumping like an 808.
So I looked this up. Phantasma is just another word for ghost. I think that's what I thought, but I'm like as in like Phantasm or...
That's what I was thinking, the movie Phantasm, because I'm like, in my mind, they were watching that shit back then, and but nothing in Phantasm, there's no zombies in there. It's more like surreal, weird dream, the fucking tall man haunting you. It's a great movie if you've never seen it, but it doesn't fit this.
So, is he the ghost?
Shadowcasta is like a... Shadowcasta.
Max Caster?
The Shadowcaster is like
Yo.
Acclaimed is the paradigm shift. These two guys exchange Valentine's gifts. Yo, Eddie, why you dressed like it's 04? You look like a box of Newports. And Mox, you're out of your element. I'ma knock you out with this mic like Omega did. Call your girl, she all in my mentions. Trying to hit me up for some oral sessions.
He's kind of Riders-like.
Livonia, Michigan, the Acclaimed has arrived.
This is an AEW podcast.
Two shithead assholes.
That's not what you should call monoxide, child.
Jesus. Sorry, Kevin, that I'm knocking your boy.
Shadowcaster is like a warlock or like a
wand waver,
vagabond. Yeah, like a magician, but it's well, when I was looking up this from a video game, but like
fuck, why'd I even bother?
It's like a magician, but it's less magic and it's more like naturalistic spells or something. I don't know, but it's just like a magician.
Are you talking about the Fantasia?
I can see Monoxide with the hat on and the little wand.
Fucking little brooms.
Add that to the list.
That'll be the next meme that comes out by the time you hear this.
Monoxide doing fucking
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
I only ask, and I know how it is, but like a Shadowcaster Phantasma, and I want to take a drink of your plasma. Yeah. So he's got to be saying he's the ghost-like spirit, right? Because he's not finding a ghost, because ghosts don't have fucking blood. That was my point, is that they're looking for victims, and they're bloodless.
Yeah, I guess being a ghost doesn't really... I guess you're a zombie, you're kind of a ghost. You're dead, but not dead. You're trapped in that middle ground. I mean, I guess vampires are on Earth. They're here with us, living forever for eternity.
Holy shit. This is taking a turn.
Where ghosts are in a different dimension with us here. So, yeah, I guess if you're a ghost, you wouldn't be drinking blood.
Ghost is a spirit.
Yeah. We're going way deeper in his lyrics than he did, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide why he said... He's like, that just sounds cool.
Yeah. Fuck it.
And it does. I dig it.
He's hanging upside down in an old black room. So he's not a ghost.
That's a vampire.
Yeah, that's definitely not a ghost. I thought it was funny. Sticking myself, drinking the blood from the wound, gotta consume enough blood to keep me alive.
Yeah, that don't work. You can't drink your own blood
I literally
to fuel yourself.
Drinking own blood to stay alive, ? Like, if that was the case, that'd be a great vampire. It has to be, right? There has to be like a comedy vampire.
Oh, he's like hunting people, and all of a sudden he like scrapes his arm and like licks it. He's like, oh shit, I fucking keep myself alive by my own blood. Continuous cycle.
Fucking whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's a funny way, like we're saying in all these verses are different ways that they're getting blood.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't just keep yourself alive that way, can you?
Yeah, you can't feed on yourself. It's not a struggle of a vampire.
How much blood does a vampire have to consume?
Yeah, that's a good question. Does it go by body mass? Like, if you're a fat vampire, you got to like drink 3 people's blood. If you're a skinny, very nice, in shape vampire, you only need like half of a person's blood.
If you're like Robert Pattinson, you're like very handsome, svelte.
Yeah, all the skinny,
vampire.
very, very beautiful ones on Twilight, they're like, they probably share one person all day. But
Yeah.
like, if you're like,
who's a fat vampire?
that one, like the Shaun of the Dead, there's probably some fat vampires on that.
But they're zombies. They're not vampires.
Oh yeah, sorry, getting my horror creatures confused.
You know, your phantasmas.
I was never into vampires. Like Nosferatu's sweet, but like the newer vampires, I don't know. That's what I need to do. Like Interview with a Vampire. I never seen that.
Newer. Fucking
That's 1994 or whatever. Well, Nosferatu's like 36 or whatever.
It's literally
24.
Literally 100 years old.
Yeah, it's older than even the 30s or 20s.
Oh.
I would say vampires never really did it for me when it came to horror. Fucking Dusk Till Dawn was a badass vampire movie.
I never saw that.
Oh man, put that on your list right now.
Is that I don't want to get this wrong.
Quentin Tarantino?
Tarantino,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. I'm going to look
And
at-
Robert Rodriguez, I think they both.
Yeah, like I just never... maybe a little bit, but...
I remember seeing that really young and being like, holy fuck. There's Selma Hayek stripping in it and crazy-ass vampires killing people. This is like blowing my mind.
Just for kicks. Okay, we're going to play this game, and we're going to be skating through the rest of the episode, or this is just going to be a long one, because we're playing this game.
This was supposed to be the short one.
Yeah. I'm going to... Oh, fuck, I can't even start with this. Essential vampire movies you need to watch right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to list them off and see which ones you've seen and which ones you haven't. Daybreakers from 2009.
No.
Ethan Hawke, William Dafoe.
William Dafoe's a creepy-ass vampire-looking
I know.
guy.
30 Days of Night.
Yes.
Is that the one where they're in Alaska and it's like all dark
that's a
or
cool
all
one.
The Hunger from 83.
I don't think so.
It's got David Bowie.
Add that to my list.
You're like, yeah, that's oh, wait a minute. I'm going to check that out.
I mean, anything in the 80s is going to be good.
Twilight.
I've seen the first one,
I've
at least.
never-
Some of
yeah.
them.
Shadow of the Vampire with John Malkovich.
No. John Malkovich.
Yeah.
What year is that?
2000.
Oh. Add
And,
that
and William Dafoe. And
Isn't William Dafoe playing Nosferatu in the remake that's coming out?
I don't know, but it's funny that I think John Malkovich is struggling to create a silent classic Nosferatu so it's like about making the Nosferatu movie. Jesus. Motherfucker already looks like Nosferatu.
Yeah. The new little sidetrack here, Robert Eggers, who makes some sweet-ass movies, he's doing a new Nosferatu with Anna Taylor-Joy and William Dafoe, is the rumor.
God, how many...
3 horror...
We're still going. The Fearless Vampire Killers, or Pardon Me, But Your Teeth Are in My Neck.
No, what year is that?
1967.
That sounds cool as hell.
Near Dark.
Oh, maybe. That sounds familiar.
Martin.
I love Martin.
It's a George Romero vampire movie from 78.
Well, I mean, it's George Romero. I gotta check it out.
Ganja and Hess.
Oh, I don't think so.
Black Sunday from 1960.
Yeah, I've seen that one, I think.
Kronos from 1993.
No.
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, really?
That's his movie.
He's good.
Vampire Hunter D.
No, I've seen those. No, I think I've read the book of the Lincoln, Abe Lincoln book.
I hope that's on here. Fright Night from 1985.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
Blade.
Yeah, I've seen Blade. I can't remember, but...
Yeah, I've seen all three of them. It's got Chris Christopherson.
Really?
Yeah. But obviously Wesley Snipes. I'm pretty sure I've seen all three of those. Underworld with Kate Beckinsale.
Isn't that like a fucking Resident Evil movie or no?
I know. See, it's funny that those all kind of like look the same.
Yeah, it's from all that era.
From Dusk Till Dawn. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
No, but I've heard that one's awesome. That's a newer one, right?
2014.
That's one on my list that Steve recommended.
I'm just waiting for Steve to be yelling at this. Like, no, fuck. That movie's dumb. I'll go see that one. Thirst from 2009.
No.
Well, it is halfway to Halloween. I told my wife that we need to watch all the Nightmare on Elm Street. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yes.
I'm like, she's like, why? I'm like, I need to watch something.
Those are good ones.
Only Lovers Left Alive.
No.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I don't think I have. Maybe like bits and pieces, but that's one I do have on my list I want to watch.
It's fucking 1992, and you're saying that it's...
That's a new...
Yeah. Horror of Dracula, 1958.
No.
Dracula, 1931. That's literally the Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, I think I've seen,
I feel like I've seen more of the bad ones, like Dracula's Daughter and like all those from this. I don't know if I've ever seen... I'm sure I've seen that one, but I've seen all the bad. Like,
I always want to buy the box set of all of them and like watch them once and never get back to it.
Nosferatu, 1979. Vampire, 1932.
No.
Interesting. Spelled Vampyr.
Oh, that's how I think I have that on my list from something. It might have been a song that sampled it. Like, because any song that has a sample, I throw in my Letterboxd watch list.
Number 5 on this list, Lost Boys.
Fucking sax solo alone needs to be. Put that in right here.
Number 4, Interview with a Vampire.
No, that's one I always, wanted to see.
Number 3, and I think I don't know what these are based on. Never mind. Number 3, What We Do in the Shadows.
No, but I've heard that's awesome because there's also a TV series that's supposed to be awesome.
2014.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Number 2, Let the Right One In.
Yeah, I think so.
2008. Number 1, 1922's Nosferatu.
I had a decent clip.
Yeah.
25-30% for not being a vampire fan.
And I just see a bunch of random other ones here. Blood Red Sky, Night Teeth, Dr. Sleep, fucking Scooby-Doo.
All elite Scooby-Doo.
Lots of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Can't forget about her.
We went really on a tangent here with this.
We did. Am I going to have to edit all this?
That's up to you to decide.
Queen of the Damned. That was one of our era, kind of.
I remember that soundtrack being very new metal, right?
Yeah, I thought it was more hip hop. But
yeah, I couldn't remember. There's a run where there's sweet hip hop. All the Twilight movies had great soundtracks.
You're a weirdo. All right. Well, that's our talk. Dracula Dead and Loving It. With why can't I say his name? I want to keep saying
William Dafoe's in it again.
No. I want to keep saying Liam Neeson, but it's Leslie Nielsen. That's a good one. All right, well, we'll put a little note here that if you don't want to listen to vampire movie talk, to skip ahead. So, all right. I mean, it is a song about Gimme That Blood, so we had to talk about that, right? Chorus, same thing as the beginning. Give me that blood, give me that blood.
Boom, boom. As we said, fantastic live.
Verse 3, Shaggy, too dope. Mr. I don't, never mind. What do you have on this? Anything worthwhile?
Just an overall thing. I love anytime they call themselves an uncle. Uncle Shags pops me.
It is kind of funny.
We referenced this earlier. That this is the song we're talking about picking scabs. I forgot what it was early on that we're there's another song we're talking about picking scabs.
Yeah, he had that up his ass, talking about picking scabs.
And he's following ABK around in the emergency room, licking wounds.
I mean, yeah, again, it's funny that he talks about the different versions you wouldn't think about. Scabs, needles.
Junkie blood cracks me up.
So this is where I was going with this. Stop fiddle fucking with them. That's okay. Hey. I don't think it comes across, but it just irritates me. Give me that blood for the ritual of the loons.
Yeah, that's a little. What was the word I was thinking of?
Callback.
No, that's a
line that doesn't. Oh no, it does rhyme. I was just fucking
mythology, Juggalo mythology, the loons.
But there's nothing in that song about the ritual of the loons, is there?
I don't know, but it sounds cool because this album is mysterious. It's about chants and rituals, so
I just want to know what it does.
I know. I that's what makes it fun. It's very mysterious because you're oh, the loons. I know the loons. When they talk about the loons,
we can go into a whole thing here. I haven't heard that song in forever.
Yeah,
what is?
So
I'm sorry, go
up north. And there's loons in the water. You get a little loony from Canada.
Yep.
And the loons come. So I'm
no one knows what that means. You should probably go back.
It's a bird that they come to very clean lakes. So the lakes up north are very clean. I
have to interrupt you. Google is way too smart. I typed in loon and it said Looney Tunes Dracula.
Because you were just.
I've never looked up Looney Tunes Dracula. Why would that be the first thing that comes up? All right, so you're talking about the loons.
But yeah, so we would grow up going up north and seeing the loons on the water. So when we first heard the loons, I was like, is he singing about the fucking birds?
Definitely not. See, I don't think that. I think...
No, he's talking about like loonies, like crazies.
Yeah. All right, well, there's a ritual for him, I guess.
But I just like visualizing Shaggy doing a little tribute to the loon bird.
Well, it takes all kinds of birds. It's funny that he talked about the tainted needles with junkie blood. Now, next verse, Jay talks about sucking the blood out of a heroin needle. I didn't pick up on that. That they're both
tag team in the drug clinic.
They kind of are. He doesn't care how he'll get it. Yep. I'll slit my wrists and do the windmill.
I love that.
I mean, okay, one, you're wasting your blood. Now that's like
I guess he might not be a vampire. He just loves blood and like you just will dance in it. He just spins. He's got his visor on, his shitty fucking dyed hair hanging out, and just hitting him with blood like he's Ric Flair.
I was gonna say that in that aspect, you're right. If they were like, hey, we're talking about blood, not about like living off of it, except the fucking they've already talked about, that I'm gonna wither and die without it. So like,
Monoxide's 100% just straight up vampire. Mars is like a anti-religious vigilante who just needs blood to like.
Yeah.
And then Shaggy just likes drinking it, and then Jay is just, I don't know, he just enjoys partying with it and throwing it all over himself like a Faygo.
That's very accurate, unfortunately. Yeah. This is... I hate to use this, but Shaggy and Jay's verse here are so them of this era.
For sure.
Like, you can't... If you're a new listener, I don't think you understand, and I'm sorry I can't explain it, but that is like ICP in 2001 to a fucking T. Like, they're talking it, it's visual, they have very descriptive words, but they're not fucking rhyming. They're not on beat at all.
They're just doing whatever they want.
Yeah, but like it's very them.
This also goes back to where I think this is where Fritz and Mike Clark are doing it at the same time, because this feels more in line with those early recordings where it's not playing into the theme, and Twisted's very horror vampire comic book or horror movie, and ICP, like I said, is goofy, funny. Like, they're very different when they come with this.
Yeah.
And then Mars is sandwiched in, and we'll get to the Blaze as well here, but Twisted and ICP feel very different on this track.
Yeah, like they came back. We're gonna have a song about blood. Go.
Yeah.
All six spread out. They go in different corners of the room. They write their verse. 15 minutes later, they come together. They read them. And ICP reads theirs. And Jamie just looks at Monoxide's like, what the fuck? Has that motherfucker's ever seen a vampire movie? Like, oh yeah, no, that's good.
I do like that he brings a mosquito into it.
That's cool. Like, that is a blood... Again, where it's not just a stereotypical biting someone's neck.
Yeah.
They're going different directions, and a mosquito is an interesting way to do it.
And a shark.
Yes, and a
but
shark.
He's not a shark.
So we can't go... It would be unfair of us to knock other artists on other CDs for using words that are not in use right now in 2022 without knocking him for using
we never knocked, we just kind of mention it and try to say...
I understood. I didn't... I just meant bring to light.
Yeah.
Because, like, some people think that... How am I going to phrase this? Much like everything in the world that's shitty, and people who hate on everything, no matter what, I feel like Psychopathic or Twisted are always, like, knocked for, like, not owning to what they used to say.
Right.
Like, they're trying to hide it or, like, scrub history.
Yeah.
And us bringing it up is just saying that it happened, and we're just, hey, we're not knocking it, we're not agreeing with it, but we're not, like... crucifying them for saying such things.
I think in general all of them have had pretty solid responses compared to a lot of other people at the time who were saying the same shit.
And just this is one where I'm not going to overlook it. Like,
right.
We said it for everyone else, so we'll say it here. Jay using words that are not politically correct to use. And
right.
If they did this... Wow. Now I'm going to say something that everyone's going to be, whoa, you can't say that. If these artists did all these songs live right now, I think they would change all their words. I don't think Jay changes that. I don't think he thinks that's wrong.
That's one that a lot of people still use and don't really think that it's
wrong.
It's an offensive word. Yeah, I don't know. It's borderline. The other ones are clearly not.
Well, yes, I'm not.
I'm not saying it's borderline. Like, it could get a pass. I'm saying that people could view it borderline and be like,
and we're not trying to, and we're not comparing racism to this. They're both,
yeah. Just the use of a word in general from 20 years ago, how it would fly now. Yeah,
I was about to say, and like even that's, you can't win that argument. I'm not saying they're equally. They're different. They're equally different. It's not.
You can't even compare them because they're different. They're offensive in different ways. We're just talking about a word that was used in a different context at the time.
Yeah.
And now would you go back and edit it when you're performing it?
I don't think he does.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe that's me being an asshole.
I don't think he would either. I don't think that many people would be like fully upset compared to the other words that have popped up throughout the seasons.
There's someone who I used to work with who was very early on anti that word.
Yeah.
And I hate to say I don't know why. I get why. But it's not like he had, to my knowledge, like a personal tie to it. Right. So he like was offended by it by proxy. But yeah, he was very early on. I'm like, well, that's cool. Like I'm not that I said it all the time, but like it's I'm just like, oh, okay.
I think that's where a word where if you've had someone in your family who would be hurtful for, or you knew someone that, I think that's how that one became like offensive. But the other ones were just like, oh, it's cut and dry. Like, oh, these are offensive at whatever point.
Those are always offensive.
One wasn't in the 90s, and then now you're like, oh, fuck, that was. Of the three words I'm thinking in my mind that's been used. Yeah. Now this one kind of like there wasn't like a drawing line. It was just like, if you had a personal experience with that word, and or if you tell someone that did, I feel like that more spread tentacle-wise throughout, as opposed to just like, here's the drawbridge. Like, no, you cannot use it anymore.
God, it's funny. Again, same podcast that I was just listening to on the way here. They touched on this, and I've always thought it, but no one says it. Well, everyone says it. So we're going in this direction. I can't believe that cocksucker is okay. Like, people say that all the time, right? But, like, isn't that the exact same, like, as other derogatory words for someone's, like, sexual orientation? Like,
because you're usually using it for another man.
It insinuates that, like, hey, fuck you, you should just blow me. Even if you just say that, like, that's... How does that?
Because you're using it as a dig on somebody.
But so how is that? How do you get away with that?
Because it's not like you're... When I've heard cocksucker used, it's against another dude. You never going up to
it's in casino 18,000 times.
But you're not like going up to a chick and be like, "Hey, you cocksucker." Like, that's a weird one. Yeah,
but it insinuates that being gay is bad.
Yeah, and that one somehow just flies.
And there's a bunch like it.
Yeah.
I just always wondered why that. Like, I think
we're just living through the whole change in culture.
I know someone very specifically that is very anti different words. Yeah. And then, like, when he was going off on someone, he called his buddy a cocksucker. And I'm like, that's funny that, like, you're anti one thing, but, like, you straight up said that. Yeah. Like, what's the difference?
I call men and women dicks. That person's a dick.
I mean, but that's not insinuating that it's wrong.
No.
Yeah.
That's always my motto. Just don't be a dick. Let's get through life. Just don't be a dick. If you're not a dick, they're not a dick to you. That's all. Everyone just be like that. How did we get to this point? We're talking about vampires. What the fuck are we doing?
We're talking about Nosferatu.
This is a short episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We went off on multiple tangents here.
Boom.
All right, so that's Violent J being a blood fountain for real. Then you get the chorus again. Give me that blood. Give me that blood.
I want everybody to jump with us. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. I hope you're ready.
Now freeze. All right.
Hell yeah, Fritz.
Blaze, you dead homie. Again, his flow is kind of sweet. You know,
I've been known for blood sipping.
Blaze is the fucking man. His way of getting blood is shooting people.
he's still a gangster.
He is. Pulls the trigger, everyone's tripping, all on the carpet, splattered on the wall.
Nice visuals again.
Yeah.
Everyone's painting good pictures in this track.
In this, like, he looks. I'm picturing he's going like into a restaurant or a party and just fucking
party. I'm thinking a house party and just
blowing people away. He takes a shotgun blast, but he's already dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I even took a slug, but I'm already dead.
Made a river of his forehead. Wiped his blood on the front of my shirt.
See, if Jay was hanging out with Blaze at this point, he wouldn't have to cut his own wrist. He could have just been dancing under that guy's forehead and in the fucking blood.
And then they wouldn't have to be drinking your own blood.
Everyone just follow. That's the moral of the story. You should have just all followed Blaze this episode.
Every line is in line with the one before it. Like, it's telling a story. Last line, would you die for the lotus? I came from the dirt. Doesn't have anything to do with any other line. Like, what?
But it's solidifying his origin story in this album.
It is. Is he telling the person who he just killed, would you die for the lotus? Like, you know what I mean? Is it like...
Or like the lotus has sent him on this killing spree, and that guy's like, would you die for the lotus? You're killing all of us. And he's like, I came from the dirt. The lotus brought me here. That's why I'm killing you. I don't know. I'm casting the movie.
Who's playing Blaze in this movie? William Dafoe?
William Dafoe. No, he's definitely playing Monoxide. He's been the most vampire-esque.
Oh, all right. So, I mean, good verse for sure.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Very classic Blaze flow and everything.
This is definitely early on Blaze, where it's a straight-up Menace to Society movie, and I'm digging it.
Next up, Jamie Madrox. Blood. Side of it excites me.
He's got a good flow here, too. Like we said, him and Mars, just their flows pop out on these.
Interesting. So, you did a little research on this one, right?
I just looked up
anything?
What Malachi was.
Malachi Black. This is not an AEW podcast.
It's a Hebrew name, and the meaning messenger of God. So it fits here that, he's getting words from God, speaking to him, as he says, because Malachi is speaking to him, talking on a crow. Like Malachi, I was visualizing Malachi is on the fence, and his spirit is inside this crow, and the crow's talking to him. That's what I visualized. But I was wondering if he just pulled it because he's a horror movie fan. Is he just pulling Malachi from fucking Children of the Corn?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, because there's the one kid in Children of the Corn, creepy as hell, named Malachi. But I dig it. I dig the visuals and sound. This is the most reference of, like we said, the later sessions where they have a lot of religious iconography. This is like the only one in this track.
And it's not... Yeah, it's really not a ton. It's just that word, right?
Yeah, that's why I said maybe he just was watching Children of the Corn when he was recording this. He was like, oh, that's a cool name. I'm going to throw that in there.
It's funny that all the other ones, for lack of trying, are vampires and they're drinking blood to keep them alive. Yeah. Kind of, right?
And Blaze just killing people.
Yeah. Well, no, I've been known for blood sipping.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. I was about to say, he isn't just like gathering the blood, but Madrox is. So the sight of it man, this just throws off me making fun of them before. That, like, they thought ICP was stupid, and then he does one that's like, God, that's where I'm an asshole. Because now, when ICP did it, I was like, oh, that's stupid. I don't even know vampire. But when Madrox does
now
it,
your boy does it.
Now I'm like, well, he's taking a different turn. Like,
yeah, now you gotta give an excuse for him.
Yeah, no, I totally admit that I'm the fucking asshole for that one. Or what I'm about to say.
So he's sorry, go on.
That he's not using the blood to like keep himself alive. He's writing it on the wall. It's almost like he's, like you said with Malachi, like he's casting some kind of spell mixed with the blood on the third night will allow the dead to walk again in the sunlight. Like he's like he's helping the vampires come into the daylight. He's a messenger. So is he like the head vampire of the other five? Like he's...
I think he's a human who's befriended the vampires. He wants them to come out in the daylight, so he's helping his buddy Monoxide, who's hanging upside down in the dark. He's like, man, you gotta come out in the sunlight. Let me talk to this old crow Malachi. Mix this blood potion together.
Blood potion. He's like that shitty little guy in Ghostbusters 2 who helps Vigo. What is? I don't even know what his name is. I just know Vigo. Yeah, no, that's interesting that he's not doing anything with the blood other than drawing on the wall and creating some kind of spell. That's okay. I'll defend.
He has a good visual where he's talking about his fingertips raw to the bone.
Yeah.
Like, he just keeps scribbling die over and over, like fucking Bart Simpson on the
Yeah,
chalkboard with his fingerprints.
I can see that. And then there's more chorus, and then there's more outro.
Jay had to jump in there because he didn't get his intro. He's got give me that blood, give me that blood.
All right, that is Gimme That Blood. Not as much of a vampire track as I thought it was going to be, but vampire track nonetheless.
I mean, they all went their separate ways on this one.
They really did. And maybe that's good. Maybe we're joking, but that's better than just every verse being like, I want to suck your blood.
I want to suck your blood. No one said that in this.
There's no, yeah.
This is like what this show though does is where you listen to this a billion times, you sing along, and it's just like, oh, these are cool, these sound cool. But as you like sit down and try to break down it and like tell a story out of the song, I'm like, oh, this song tells no story. They're just like, this all sounds cool. These are cool visuals, and the beat bangs and the hook's good, and then we're just gonna fill it in with these cool lyrics.
But yeah, doesn't really tell a poetic story.
So I'm trying to cast a movie here, and there's Blaze blowing up a party, shooting people. Jay and Shaggy drinking junky blood and dancing in it. Fucking Mars is trying to take down the entire world religious organizations. And then Twisted is one's a vampire and one's trying to get his vampire buddy in the daylight.
Vampire buddy. So I mean that's all the lyrics. Lines that pop out. I think there's kind of a lot of them, right? I mean, again, nothing that's like on a shirt or a chant or whatever.
I mean, just the hook in general. I think that's
the hook is pretty big.
That's a Lotus staple. Is this track just that, like you said, the freeze and the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, definitely. Like we said, live track for sure.
Yeah.
Of all of them, this is top tier Lotus live track. But I think the blood, the side of it excites me. That's kind of like everyone's like first lines. Maybe that's good. How that happens, but they're all kind of very catchy. Right. First line of each the verse.
Yeah, when you mention like things that stick out, it literally is all everyone's first line. Something like you would shout out and someone would know what you're referencing or like finish it for you, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's actually a good way to put that. If you start it, can someone finish it?
Yeah, I feel like this is a song that has that. Like there's no line that's shouted or like stands out. Lexicon, as we call it, but like, yeah, if I was like, cut yourself, let it beat, and you like pulsate, heartbeat bumping, or not being known for blood sipping, like all those things, I feel like you'd say it and someone would know exactly what it is.
Yeah, know where you're coming from. It's funny that as I'm looking through it real quick, they all mention blood in the very first line.
Oh, really?
Blood, the sight of it excites me. I've been known for blood sipping. I need blood like a mosquito. Now blood might drip, blood might clot. Cut yourself, let it bleed, pulsate. I love blood, the color of red makes me excited. The only one that doesn't is fucking Mars.
Which makes sense, because
he's for the Juggalo.
He's added, like I said, he's added in the end.
He's like, I didn't get the memo that you gotta say blood in the first line.
This checks out that this song was finished and he was added.
Checks out. So yeah, Where do you put this? Where do you put the song in the?
Oh, this is up. This is up there, upper half.
Yeah, it's got to be
top 5. As we went through, let me look back at what we've done.
There's 8 fucking songs so far. One of them is an intro, and you're saying it's top 5.
As we went through so far, I would put it at 3 or 4. So far,
I probably would too. I think it's up there.
Just for the beat and hook alone, and like I said, the song doesn't really make sense if we're trying to say what it's about because they're all kind of different, but it all works. I think it doesn't have to be telling a story. They all have their own little episodes inside the song.
So, that being said, who are you casting? Oh, we didn't mention this earlier. But if you follow us on Twitter, go to the pinned tweet. There will be a poll. Only vote once. You know how many people this week alone I've noticed, like, have talked to me about voting twice?
Oh, come on, guys.
Like, they don't... I don't want to call them out. One person said they wanted to see if they could do it just to see if it worked. And then I think one person does it thinking it's two different polls. I don't want to call them out. So, yeah, one vote. There may be two polls, but you pick your favorite.
Well, this past week was easy because there's only 4 people, so we got to just plug in one poll.
This one's going to be a little harder.
This one's everybody.
So you take who you think is the best verse or your MVP of said track. Vote once.
Right.
And we will tally them and see who wins MVP of Tales from the Lotus Pod. And this week, we have all 7. Chris, who are you voting for Gimme That Blood?
Well, I'm going with the one. I can't say it because it will give it away. I'm going to go with...
I'm just going to skip right ahead and agree with you.
Oh, nice.
So
we're agreeing on one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason to explain it because we'll give it away.
Correct.
But I enjoy it. It's just it's one that sounds cool, and I like singing along to it.
Can I? This has nothing to do with that, but I wanted to say it earlier, but it was just a quick tie-up. Is it just me? Or, so this and the next song, Headache, are both credited to Fritz.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does Twisted fucking take over on both songs? Like,
well, it's they're probably their concept, yeah. And
it's funny that if you're going with that, they both have very Twisted-like verses with their producer.
Right.
It's just, were they more comfortable? Did they, like, throw out, 20 ideas, and they're like, we're going to take these and kind of, like, form them ourselves and bring them to the table?
Right.
Like, listening to all the other songs, it's like, this is Twisted in Lotus.
Yeah.
These 2 songs are Twisted.
Yeah.
It's just, it's interesting how...
It's ICP in Twisted.
It kind of is. Like, and maybe it's just coincidence that it's a Fritz beat, but it seems like it's their song.
It does.
So, I don't know. Wanted to bring that up before we got too far. We could have talked about that next week, too, and I'm sure we probably will. So, anything else before we close the book on Gimme That Blood, Gimme That Blood?
No, I think we nailed it all. I'm going to watch a lot of vampire movies this week.
Yeah, we sure talked about a lot of nonsense that wasn't about the song, but that's what we do. So, yeah, I think that's it. We've spent all of our extra energy on other shit, so we'll just close this boy up. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Mostly Twitter and Instagram. At Juggalo, RWD. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Podbean, Stitcher, Google.
Wherever you're looking, you'll find us. And make sure you rate, review, and share.
Yes, give us some reviews. Tell someone about this. I know you have friends out there. Just one little tweet ski.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. JuggaloRewind.com is the website. JuggaloRWD is the Gmail. And 810-666-1570 is the voicemail. Also, don't forget, like we said, to drop your vote on the Twitter, on the pinned tweet. Who do you think had the best verse?
Not verse, just best
MVP.
Whatever they did.
If you say Violent J, then we know that you use words in 2022 that you shouldn't be.
A few weeks back, a handful of people voted for Nobody because the second poll, he had to have at least 2 options, and there was only 1 extra person.
Why didn't you just do 3 and 2?
Yeah, I should have done that.
Anyways, we'll do that in the future. That's all I got. You done?
Yep.
All right. That's Chris. I'm Peter, and we're done with Gimme That Blood. We will see you next week for Headache.
Freeze!
Thank you.
I'm thinking I gotta get Gilbert in a series where he plays Dracula. I'm gonna make it happen. It's just gonna happen.
And Jackie will be just one of the characters.
Right.
Jackie's acting is very frightening. He acts like the undead.
Dracula Gottfried, you are the type of man who can look at a woman, hypnotize her,
with your eyes,
and then
spread your legs open. I want you to spread your legs open now. Right now.
I was going to say.
And give me your kloogie.
All music played in this episode and in this entire season is owned by the respective publishers and copyright holders and is reproduced for review purposes only under fair use.